To be honest, at this point, a land might just be close to freaking lethal. This Windswept Heath here represents 6 Valakut triggers. That's 18 damage just in this land alone if we have a land to play before it. Hello and welcome, everybody. We are here for match 5 with the list that you see on screen right here. Currently 3-1, hoping to get this 4-1. If we end up 3-2, that's totally fine with me. However, as you already know, this channel is about the learning and the entertainment, and if you find yourself getting any entertainment or any knowledge out of this particular video, then that's the goal. And if you could throw your support by liking and commenting and subscribing and all that good stuff. Yeah, we are playing some Sakura-Tribe scouts. We're Sakura-Tribe sellouts here, and we'll see if we can get the big bucks here with the 4-1, or if selling out to the corporate tribe scouts hasn't really achieved us anything. We'll know by the end of this league, and I will have some parting thoughts on the deck list after we finish the league. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this match, so I will see you guys there. Alright, we have our match, so let's hop on in here. On the play, please. Couldn't be on the play. It's all good, it's all good, it's all good. And we have a hand with Titan mana, but we don't get to play the Scout on turn 1, and that's kind of tragic. We could play Colony Garden on 1, and then Scout on 2, and plan to Titan on 4, which is a little slow. We could top deck an untapped source here as well. Our opponent chooses to keep their 7. I feel like we can probably do better. I mean, we have the lands we need, we have the 3-drop ramp piece, we have the Titan, and we even have something to play to fill the gaps. So, like, this hand's really not that bad, but I feel like on the draw it's just a little lackluster. It's a bit of a tough choice. Let me know in the comments whether you would keep this hand or not. I think I'm going to mulligan it. And here we have a hand that plays turn 2 Explore. We have lands and access to a Titan, so this is looking pretty decent. We'd like to find a bounce land, but that's about the only thing we're missing, really. We see Raugrin Triome as our opponent's first land here. We'll play our Valakut that we just drew, so we can play Explore this upcoming turn and have already gotten a tap land out of the way. Looks like our opponent's on something slow and interactive. Explore is very good against slow and interactive. Ooh, Flagstones of Trocaire. So our opponent's on the Jeskai Cleansing Wildfire deck. They could wildfire their own Flagstones to get ahead on mana. Also means that they might be able to wildfire away our bounce lands, which is not ideal. If they do go ahead and wildfire their Flagstones, that's cool, that's cool. Pretty nice that we have Dryad and Valakut and Vesuva to copy Valakut all just ready to go, even if we don't get a Titan into play. It means that this Dryad poses a real threat. Our opponent's playing green, so this is some sort of Omnath deck, most likely. They didn't hold up Mana Leak. I don't see why they would this turn. Oh, what? Black as well? That's kind of curious. Well, let's go ahead and explore here. Azusa is an interesting one. Let's just get our Valakut in play also. Now we have 2 Valakuts and Vesuva and Dryad. Very curious. Our opponent plays Dryad of their own. This is a very strange deck our opponent has put together. I do notice that both of these lands are mountains. Makes me think that maybe there's some kind of Scapeshift / Bring to Light thing. Elvish Reclaimer? Say what? Our opponent's on a Reclaimer deck? Very curious, very curious. If we top deck any untapped source, so we can just Titan in a turn from now. So that's what we're gonna hope for, I guess. We've got enough Valakuts for the job, I guarantee it. To be honest, at this point, a land might just be close to freaking lethal. That's this Windswept Heath here represents 6 Valakut triggers. That's 18 damage just in this land alone if we have a land to play before it. Not blocking here. Don't know if our opponent could be playing Lightning Bolt or something, but I mean, this is the plan right here. Summoner's Pact to Primeval Titan. Our opponent plays Teferi Time Raveler. Alright, well, I guess that punishes us for not blocking. Our opponent's holding up 2 mana something, or they're just not, and they're going to cast something. That's cool, too. Oh, no! They're Valkying away our Dryad, almost guaranteedly. That is awful. This is going to let them exile the Dryad, and they could pay 3 to make this into a Dryad for themselves. And now they have Reclaimer to set up Valakut at some point in time. And we would have hit the land, too! Tragic, tragic, tragic. Ugh, if they didn't have the Valky... would have been too good, though, wouldn't it? Alright, let's... Growth Chamber. Pick up the Vesuva. Play this Azusa. Play a Vesuva copying Growth Chamber here, so we can transmute Talari West if we need to. Pick up the Forest. Play the Forest. And I guess there's no real reason to play Grazer, so I'm just going to hold on to it. We can Titan this upcoming turn. Although our opponent's got fetch lands, and they're about to have probably a Valakut in play, so like they could activate Reclaimer, go get a Valakut, put it into play, do a trigger. Oh, we're just dead to Scapeshift. That's cool too. All right, well, at least we're playing in something interesting. Well, our opponent's on Scapeshift, so that makes Tireless Tracker look a little worse. Clearly, we're gonna want Dismembers here. The Valky makes me think that they're likely to be playing Bring to Light also. Don't know if we change anything about our strategy for that. Bajuka Bog seems bad here. Ghost Quarter doesn't seem that great. I'm not sure, though. Grazer seems awful. Although it is fast. Playing a turn 1 Grazer lets us turn 2 a 3-drop, which is not the worst, but it's also not a great top deck. We can probably go without 1 Summoner's Pact as well. Submit this way. Explore could be a little lackluster since our opponent's trying to kill us with Scapeshift. So I kind of feel like having a couple Grazers instead of a couple of Explorers. That way we have more of a likelihood to get our turn 2 3-drop into play. On the play, of course. And we have an Amulet. Dismember to interact if our opponent's on a Dryad plan. I mean, I guess we keep this. Titan mana, pretty much ready to go. If our opponent plays a Reclaimer on turn 1, do we play Amulet and then Dismember the Reclaimer, or do we hold the Dismember for a Dryad? It's an interesting question, because Reclaimer lets them... They bog, okay. Well, I was going to say, Reclaimer lets them start getting a land advantage with Flagstones, but maybe we don't need to worry about that. And then I think we're going to hold on to the Grazer here, as it lets us Titan this upcoming turn. So... Play Simic, float, green, green, blue. Use a green, leaving green, blue, floating to Grazer in a bounce lane once again. Okay, well, actually they get to take our Titan. I don't think it makes any sense to dismember this one. No, I guess not. I mean, they gotta take the Titan here. If we draw another Titan, though, or like a Summoner's Pact, we can still do the Titan thing with Amulet. That's probably just game over, to be honest. This is a good argument for having Grazer instead of Explorer. Although I guess Explorer would have put a bounce line into play and let us have another top deck here to see if we have a second Titan ready to go. So I don't know. I guess Explorer would have let us cast a Titan this upcoming turn also. So we would have had to play a bounce line instead of the Garen Brig and pick up the Colony. But that would have been fine. Don't think we waste the Dismember here. So, oh, there's a Titan. Cool, cool, cool. Never did not have it. I don't know what we're supposed to play around here at all, though. I'm going to pick up the Colony as well. Just try to make some land advantage here. Next one's going to be Sanctuary. And I'm currently debating whether or not we pick up the Sanctuary or the Garen Brig. It's not completely obvious. We're about to get Garrison and Stronghold, and I think we can just pick up the Garrison and have Bounce Land ready to go, so I guess it's probably fine to just pick up the Garen Brig here. Our opponent might just scoop to a Resolve Titan, in all honesty, so we'll see, though. It is definitely free to haste, so let's just go ahead and do that. And we can get bounce land off the attack trigger here. In fact, we probably will, so I guess it's fine to pick up the stronghold. Sure. I'm okay with it. And yes, we want to search. I guess the safest thing is Talari West and a bounce land, so that is what I'm going to go for. And here we'll just pick up the tapped Sanctuary. Pass it back. So our opponent's in trouble here. Yep, they agreed. In fact, they conceded. Oh, they just showed us their hand, which contained a remand. All I saw was that. And some, like, multicolored cards. I bet they probably did that by accident. I don't know, maybe not. Still not sure whether Explorer or Grazer is better here. I actually think Explorer would have been better slightly in that scenario, but that's not always the case. I think I'd rather have Explorer, though. I could be wrong. But I'd rather have the redraws, I think, as our opponent will likely be interacting, so we even saw remand. Our opponent's on the play now. It was a very fast game, too. This hand contains a Cavern of Souls, which makes it very enticing. We can play turn 1... Oh, wait, we actually don't have access to Explore on turn 2 here. So we do get a draw. Is a Zusa on turn 3 and a Titan on turn 4 good enough? Especially since we have to pay for Pact the turn after we put a Titan into play. I'm not really sure. I feel like we want something a little faster. Well, this is another Amulet hand. So yeah, we're definitely keeping this. And I guess we bottom one of the Garen Brigs. Sure. This is going to be a turn 3 Titan off of packing for Azusa and activating Garen Brig. Hopefully. A start on turn 1 Reclaimer. Interesting. We'll play the TUS, I suppose. Pass it back. Dryad is an interesting one here, but I don't know if we're ever going to actually play that one. Our opponent has Tapland go. Well, I mean, I'm playing into Spell Pierce. I don't think we have an option not to be honest. So either you have it or you don't. They don't have it. Right, well, here's the Garen Brig. And this upcoming turn, we can pack for Azusa, play Sanctuary, float 3, play Sanctuary again. And if our opponent has removal, then we can just play Dryad instead and possibly still be able to pay for the Summoner's Pact. They're holding up Remand. Interesting. So, Titan. So if we pack for Azusa, play Sanctuary, float 3, pick it up, play Sanctuary again, we'll have these 3 lands in play and 3 mana available. So we can float 3, pick up the Garen Brig, play Dryad, play Garen Brig, and then we lose to exactly Cleansing Wildfire. I guess we just play Dryad, so Valakut into Dryad this turn. Because I don't really want to lose Cleansing Wildfire. I don't see a reason to. What happens if they remand the Azusa? Then we just lose, right? We definitely can't lose to remand or Mana Leak here either, so... Yeah, I guess we just have to play the Dryad. Don't love it, but we'll do it. And now, there's the question of whether we put the Sanctuary into play or not. I think that we're not supposed to, because it represents our way to make enough green for Titan if our Dryad does not stay in play. That said, we could also top deck any green source to be able to just hardcast Titan even if our Dryad dies by playing out the Sanctuary here. It's a hard choice. I actually think we're supposed to play out the Sanctuary. I could be wrong. We'll pick up the T-West here. Pass it back. If our opponent just 3 fairy bounces our Dryad, then that'll be a little tragic, but even then, if we manage to top deck a bounce land, then we should be fine in that scenario, because we can just play bounce land, play Azusa, leaving the Garen Brig untapped, bounce land again, activate, so we still have outs to Casting Titan, if that is the scenario that we're in. We also now have the ability to transmute for Cavern of Souls, so we can have our Titan be uncounterable. It doesn't play around Aether Gust, which our opponent could easily have. I'm also noticing that our opponent did not activate Reclaimer, which is kind of strange. Alright, well... yeah, there's no reason to transmute Tolari West here. Actually, I mean, there kind of is, because if we just jam a Titan and it gets countered, then we haven't really gained much. I suppose if we make them use a Remand, that means they're not activating Reclaimer, though. So, we could be playing into a Mana Leak, but that's not that bad since we have, like, endless threats here, so... I'm just going to play into the Mana Leak. Of course, using the Dryad ability to float a green here and activate Garen Brig. If this is an Aether Gust, then it's actually going to be fantastic for us that we just jammed. Otherwise, it's, like, not hugely any kind of deal. It resolves, okay. Well, didn't expect that. Definitely didn't expect that. They path the Dryad now. Okay. That's definitely poor timing. Because now we can choose to haste if we want to. One might say that our opponent is baiting us into hasting, but, don't know if that's the way I would describe it. I mean, for a blue and a red, they could have, like, some bounce spell, but I'm not really buying it. I think we just haste and attack here. Try to capitalize on our opponent's mistake. I mean, if they were making a play, that's great for them, I guess. We have another Titan backup anyways. So, I'm just going for it. Alright. No punishment so far. Let's pick up the... guess it doesn't really matter. The... Sunhome? Sure. Swing. Yep. Alright. So now... we can get, like, Tolari West and a fetch land so that we have extra Valakut triggers, or just a second Valakut in case we need to pack for Dryad. I guess T-West Valakut makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna go with T-West Valakut. We could even play a Dryad in our second main phase here, so we get to kill our opponent's Reclaimer. That doesn't seem too bad. Let's see, if we have to pay for pack, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't have enough green to play Titan if we do have to pay for pack, which is kind of sad, unless our Dryad stays in play. I think killing the Reclaimer is probably important enough, though. I'm going for it. We'll play the Sunhome here. Send one at them, one at the Reclaimer. Try not to let them set up any kind of utility here with their Flagstone's engine. Just try to slam this door. Especially since we can't let them get to Scapeshift relevant number of lands. And I did call it. I said that both of our opponent's lands before were mountains. And they are, in fact, playing a Valakut the Molten Pinnacle deck. So. Alright. We won the match. Ended up 4-1. That was a pretty inventive deck that our opponent was playing there. And I have to say, this list performed very well. I absolutely would consider just running it back exactly as is. I felt like the number of Garen Brigs we have is fine. I'm not sure that the second fetch is absolutely necessary, but I liked how frequently we were able to cast our 1-drops on turn 1, so... And I feel like we saw Garenbrig a significant amount of the time. 3 versus 4 may not be a super impactful difference, so there's that. I liked having the additional Grazers in the side. We didn't play against anything like Prowess or whatever to put the Grazer in the sideboard to the test, but yeah, I mean, we made use of pretty much all of our other sideboard cards, except for maybe Pact of Negation, but that's alright, that's alright. Anyways, I don't really have much else to say about the list. I just think it's solid, and I would play it again. Let me know if you would play this list, and if in fact you have, let me know what you think about the matches that we played, and thank you for sticking with us this long. I look forward to the next one. Hopefully you'll follow me there. This is Redface Menace, signing off.